What's going on, everybody? Spacewell's here. Welcome back to another Kingdom of Heroes War Tactics 2 video. And guys, we're going to be doing a beginner's guide on Kingdom of Heroes today, and I'm so excited for it because we're having so much fun with this game. And now I did spend a little bit of money on the game. Shout out to Allergies and Mega Shield for buying me a couple packs on Twitch. And we have so much fun on Twitch, so that is always in the link down below if you want to follow me there on Twitch, because we just have so much fun and it's such a great time. And the first thing I want to point out is, yes, I do have an LD Nat 5, but you do not need an LD Nat 5. You do not need to spend money. You can actually start this game for free and pretty much make the same progression that I am making now. And I was going to jump back on our, beginner starter account, but it's actually better for me to jump on this account and show you what I've been farming and why. Because the only thing I really need to show you that I didn't show you on the beginner account is what Nat 4 to pick. And I could just show you that from this account because I already showed you the Nat 5. So there's no reason for me to really go back on that account anymore, because I'll just show you from here. Because today I'm going to show you, the core team that you should be picking and what you should be focusing on pretty much your first week when starting Kingdom of Heroes. So let's just dive right into it, guys. First thing, I'm going to show you my monster box and show you what monsters I am building and why. Now, first thing here is the setup, the rune management. The way they show the box is actually amazing in this game. It makes everything really easy, to use and to explain to you guys. So first thing, up here on the top, you got a little box inside a box, and you got a 4 checkered box. If you click the 4 checkered box, all your runes will show up. So it'll show your monsters and your runes, so you can see what has runes and what doesn't, and what has your best sets, and where they are, where the runes are. So it makes it really easy to find runes. Like if you just throw runes on something and then you want to take them back later and put them on something else, it's just so convenient. And these are the little things that I do miss sometimes when playing CCG, but I still love CCG, and I just put up a champion guide on CCG. But first thing first here, now all of these runes are free runes that come from campaign. So I'm definitely going to tell you guys that campaign is going to be one of the most important things that you're going to do when starting this game and building up your core team. Now, as far as your core team goes, you want a damage dealer, which is a farmer, which you're going to pick when you pick your first Nat 5. You want a healer, which you're going to pick when you get your Nat 4 picker. You want a shielder, and you want a support. So now my core team here is Ifrit, Nyixa, Freya, and Reyna. Now, don't think you need an LD Nat 5. You could use anything that has shield. So if you don't have Nyixa, which you probably won't, you could use Anubis. You can use Gunther. I mean, anything that has the shield mark that is going to bring a shield on your team is totally fine. It's just I have her, so of course I'm going to use her. You just want to make sure you have, those 4 core things in your main team. And this is going to make it much easier for you to break into TOA, into the Rune Dungeon, into the Rift Dungeons, because you're going to have your immunity, you're going to have your heal, and you're going to be covering all of those bases. Now, as far as the runes go that they give you, you want to put your damage set, because they're going to give you a charge set. You want to put that on your damage dealer. You want to put your vampire set either on your healer or on your support. Now, you could say that you would put your vampire set on your farmer, but for me, I like my farmer to do as much damage as possible, and a charge set gives her 35% more attack, and a vampire set just leeches HP. So I believe that she's actually going to do more damage if she is on the charge set as opposed to the vampire set. So I like to put the vampire set on my healer, and that makes sure that my healer will never die, because she'll always be leeching HP. So that's just the way I like to do it. So that's the way I'm going to recommend to do it. It's not necessarily the right way or the wrong way. It's just the way that I like to do it and the way that it works for me. Now, as far as your Nat 4 picker goes, probably going to want to go with either Penne or Reyna. And the reason for that is Reyna has debuff immunity, and in the rune dungeons there is a ton of continuous heal debuffs that get put on you, so she is really good at mitigating that. And Penne is just a really, really strong healer. Now, I know I kind of make up my own names, guys. It's just to have fun, and we have so much fun on Twitch doing it, so now they kind of just stuck in my head. So don't rip me apart in the comments, because I know already. I just love doing it, and we have so much fun, and I know it puts a smile on your face. So I got lucky enough to pull Vivian. Now, she is a Nat 5, and she does cover all of these things, but as you can see, I was building these two, Nat 4 healers until I pulled Vivian. The thing with Vivian is she just does all of the jobs in one. And now I know most of you probably won't pull her, but if you get lucky enough to, then she's actually going to cover debuff immunity and heal all in one kit. So that just makes it, a lot easier. But in the future, you're going to have to build Reyna and Penne anyways, because you're going to need multiple teams for Guild Wars. So don't feel bad if you build them and then end up pulling something stronger. That is totally fine, because you're going to need them in the future anyways. Now, as far as Freya goes, she is the best support to start with because she's free. She's dark, Nat 4. Her skills are amazing. She has continuous heal. She has speed up. She has invincibility. And she has more speed on her A1. So she is a great support to have in your first core team. And as far as your damage dealer goes, a Freet or whatever it is you picked in the beginning, whether it was Igwe, Bleeze, whoever it was, doesn't matter. You just need a strong damage dealer in your core team. Now, I'm also building Claudia because she's amazing too. She has a stun, and she's a really good damage dealer. So I just so happen to build both of them. You don't have to build 2 damage dealers, but it might make it easier for you when being in certain element dungeons when a Freet is not so strong. Claudia will be strong, so that's why I built a green one and a red one, which is fire and elemental. I just like to put my own spin on things. Now, if you don't have Nyxa, you can build Anubis, you can build, Mammon, anything that has the shield side. I think we went over this already. Or Gunther. It doesn't matter as long as you have some type of shielding on your team. Now, Mesh is also a good shielder. He doesn't have the shield sign, but sometimes when you read through their skills, you'll see that, even some healers have shields, and, even some shields have healing skills. So you just have to look through the skills and see which one fits your team best. Now, my core team, as you can see, is a Freet, Nyxa, Freya, and Vivian. Now, this team is working great for me, but before I pulled Vivian, I was using Reyna, and she was working great. So I guess it really wouldn't matter if I pulled Vivian or not, because then, I could have used Penne or Reyna, so it wouldn't have made a difference. But just, of course, it's a Nat 5, so of course I'm going to use her. So now let's just kind of go over, the main stuff in this page. So I already showed you how to pull up the runes. Now you have a lock down at the bottom, which is to lock your heroes. As you can see, they have lock signs. So if you want to lock them, you just click lock right here like this, and then you lock the heroes you want. You click confirm, and they are locked. And you definitely want to lock stuff to make sure that you're not getting rid of it. Now, I'm pretty sure you can't feed Nat 5s and they are automatically locked. But as far as your Nat 4s go, you want to make sure you're locking them, especially when you're leveling up food. Because when you're new to a game like this, it's really hard to tell what is a natural Nat 4 and what is not a natural Nat 4 after you upgrade your 3 stars to 4 stars. So that just makes it a little bit easier, by locking your natural 4 stars when you pull them. And the same thing with the cell on the bottom. And then you got your hero storage. The storage in this game is actually kind of expensive, but I feel like it's like that in all gacha games, especially in the beginning when currency is just so hard to get. But I feel like it's kind of like that in all gacha games. So it's just something you got to get used to. And when you start, farming up currency, it won't be that much of an issue. So as you can see, I'm already getting kind of packed out here. So now we have promo fairies, I believe. And these are the same thing like skill cats, not skill cats, ascension cats. And then your fairies are the same thing like skill cats, devilmons. These are the same thing, except in this game they have one for 4 stars and they have one for 5 stars. So make sure you don't feed your 5-star ones to your 4 stars. That is very important. And then we have the promo fairy, which is the same thing as an ascension cat. You use these to make 3 stars, 4 stars, and 5 stars. Now, there's no growth plan in this game, so it's not as easy as CCG, to get that big push in the beginning. But they do have a ton of events and a ton of ways, to get these resources. I'm not sure if that's going to continue as the game goes on, but I know when starting off, it is pretty easy to get your first 6, probably your first 2 6 stars. But then after that, I'm not sure how hard it's going to actually be. So that's pretty much going to cover it for that. And then you have your collection down here at the bottom. You can click that. This is like all your progression rewards as you unlock heroes and level them up. It gives you a ton of rewards. Same thing with the archives in CCG. Like, it gives you a skill cap, but this just gives you a ton more stuff. Then you got your Codex, and you can pretty much search any monster just by typing one letter here, and all those monsters will pop up. So let's say it's Vivian. You could pretty much just type in V, and then click search, and then everything that has a V in it will pop up. Now, if you know Vivian is water, you can click water, and there she is right in the front there. So that's how that works. Then you have your collection and the Codex. So the Codex is what I just showed you, and the collection is what you're actually collecting. Okay, so now after you get familiar with all of this, the first thing you're probably going to want to do is start farming campaign, and you're going to want to jump right into Guild Wars. You're going to want to jump into a guild, and we do have a second guild build now. We're probably going to make a third guild. So if you guys want to join the Spaceland community, please message me on Discord, and I'll get you into one of the guilds. And we have a Discord for the guild, so we're all in one chat. We have a guild chat also in the game where we all go to the same chat. Even though we're in separate guilds, we all have a chat where we chat together. So you're pretty much going to want to do all of your achievements. This is pretty much what you're going to be focused on. This is pretty much like your growth plan. You're going to want to go down all of these achievements. I'm not saying go too crazy, but the more you do, the more gems, the more silver, you know, the more fairies, the more promo cats you're going to get. So I would recommend definitely sticking to this and campaign in the beginning, because these achievements are just going to give you so much stuff. Same thing for guild achievements, daily missions. Daily missions are the same thing as quests in CCG. This resets every day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. And you see every time you get an achievement, it lights up a little exclamation point. You click on it, you collect it, and you are good to go. Same thing for challenges and guild missions. You get runes and upgrade runes, all kinds of stuff like that. Stuff that's really helpful when moving on in the game. Now I will show you the guild here, how the guild works. Now you have guild raid. I don't believe this is open on weekends. This is actually only going to be open, I believe, during the week. And this actually gives you a ton of resources and guild points and all of that stuff. And I'm going to show you what you should be buying in the guild shop. And you also have your guild wars. Now, depending on, you know, what guild you join or how new the guild is, they might not do these right away. We do, but if you are doing guild wars, just make sure you're doing your attacks and placing your defense. And just know, whatever you place in your defense, you cannot use on offense. So once you put those monsters on defense, you cannot use them on your offense. So just be careful and make sure you leave, you know, some good units so you have some attacks to do. Otherwise, if you put them all in your defense, you will not be able to use them on offense. Now you have contribution. Now everything you contribute to the guild, you get a bunch of extra rewards. You can either give gems. I already completed it, but it's either gems or silver. And the more you give, the more contribution you give to the guild, which you can see the list here, which is Allergies, Vega, and Tick. They've given the most contributions since we started the guild. Now you can see my man Allergies also pulled one of the best LD Nat5s in the game, which is Gabrielle. And everybody's so jealous because she's literally the most sought after LD Nat5 since the game came out about 3 days ago. Now, as far as the guild store goes, you want to buy your promo fairy and your skill fairy, I would say first, and then you want to work on your LD Nat5. That's down here. She's a dark Nat5. She is really good. Depending on, you know, how active and big your guild is when you start it, you probably won't be able to buy all three like I'm going to be able to. So I would definitely say stick to the skill fairy first, and then after you get the skill fairy, work on your dark Nat5 and your promo fairy. But definitely buy your skill fairy first. After you get that, then you can move on to everything else. And as your guild grows, you'll be able to buy everything in the same week, so you won't have to worry about that. So that's pretty much it for the guild part. Now, all of this stuff here, now you got your Kingdom Pass. Now, you get a free top Kingdom Pass. This is just like a Battle Pass. I don't know if you guys ever played Raid or something like that, where they have the Battle Pass. This is just like that. The top is free. The bottom just gives you extra rewards. It's 26 bucks. I think it's great value. Probably towards the end, I'm just going to buy it and collect all the rewards at once, because it is a really good value. Silver Coin Store. Now, this is where it's pretty much like your market. You pay silver, you can buy runes. You know, they have actually a lot of stuff in the silver store. You can buy awakening stuff, you can buy, you know, unknowns, you can buy regular summons, 2 stars. There's actually a lot of legendary runes drop in this shop, which I was pretty shocked about. I already got 2 legendary runes from the shop, and in CCG I don't think I've ever gotten 1 usable legendary rune in their market. So it's a really good market, I have to say, so far. Anyways, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but for now, make sure you're checking that every hour. Packages, I believe, is just special packs that they have in the game. Now, if you're not spending money, this doesn't really pertain to you. But if you are spending money, the Supreme pack and I believe the special pack are probably and the starter pack are the first 3 packs you want to go with. But if you're not spending money, don't even worry about this. You don't need to spend money, especially in the beginning of the game. And you probably want to make sure the game is going to do, you know, good before you start spending money. Now, you also have a ton of events. And this is why I like this game, you know, so much right away. It's because it has so much engagement, guys. Every day you sign in, you get something. You got all of these events. Like, all of this list is all events that you can do all day long. You got this dice event here where you collect the dice throughout the day. You click roll. See, we have 21 rolls, and I haven't even really played today. So you just roll the dice, and as you complete this board, you collect all the stuff on the board, and you get to the chest, and you get a bunch of rewards every time you finish the board. Now, I already finished it 10 times, so I'm just going to keep getting 50k silver. But before that, I was getting gems, I was getting summons, energy, you know, a bunch of stuff like that. So we're not going to go through this all now, because I think you guys get the point. Now, the restart button over here, this will set you back to the beginning. So that's really the only thing you want to look out for, because then you have to go all the way back to the beginning and start over, and you won't get to the end. But you only have to finish this 10 times, so it's not really that hard to do, especially if you're farming. You're pretty much going to be collecting these dice like crazy. Probably every 2 hours, you're going to have like 20 to 30 dice rolls, so it won't be hard for you to complete. Now, the craft, you definitely want to look out for this when you're summoning. So this is the Runecraft. This you're not going to really worry about too much in the beginning. I'm going to show you the crafting that I'm thinking of, which is the monster crafting. Because as you're summoning, you want to make sure you're saving those, you know, craftable monsters. But the rune crafting system is pretty much the same as all the other ones, except here you can get superior, which is really cool because you don't have to worry about getting, you know, a rare or heroic. You actually get legendary rune when you craft a legendary rune, which is really cool. And same thing for gems and pieces. So I do like that you can craft pretty much anything in this game. That is a really awesome feature. Now, your request, you're pretty much going to click this here, and you're going to do whatever it tells you to do, and then you're going to collect the reward on the side. So you click this, see it says include 1 hero above level 23. So you put a hero that's above level 23, and then it gives you a higher percentage, so that's going to give me 18% to get this extra drop rate here. So then you just fill it out with the rest of your monsters, just like that. So now I have a 30% chance of getting this extra reward. I'm going to save this until my dailies reset, because this is part of your dailies. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you're doing it after your dailies reset, because then you're going to have to wait 6 hours to redo it. And then you got daily pack, which I believe is just a pack that they offer, and you get daily stuff. Again, if you're not spending money, don't worry about this. Then you got your applied effects here, which shows you what you're using, like boosters. Like me, I'm using a 200 XP booster, which gives your monsters more XP, which levels them up faster. And your silver event, your XP frogs, and your extra silver. So you always want to check this and make sure you have these running. And they always have events, see, like it says upcoming here. So when you see a silver event, you want to make sure you're farming during this event, so you get the extra silver. There's just so much stuff to go over here, guys. I'm trying to get it all crammed into like a less than a 30-minute video here. So let's just go over the top here. Now up here is your mailbox, which I showed you in the first video. This is where you collect your friendship points. And this is where all of your rewards will go, like your rune sets, you know, stuff that you buy from packs, your boosters. This is how you pop your boosters. You know, if you have a promotion ticket, if you bought a pack, or summons, it'll all go to this box here. Now you got these 3 lines up here. You click that, and this is pretty much like your menu. This will bring you to your runes. This will bring you to all the stuff that I showed you. This is like a direct way to get to it. So you got your store, you got your achievements, you got your summons, your costumes, your home, event, settings. Everything's right here, guys. So this is like your quick little menu to get you to where you want to go if you can't find it inside the game. Now let's quickly go over the summon menu here. Now, what's awesome about this game is they have a lot of fail safes built in. And as far as LDs go, you can't summon 3 stars. You can only summon 4 stars or 5 stars. A 5 star is actually 8% in this game, which is huge for an LD. And then obviously a 4 star is 92%. And they always have these boosted drop rates, like Esperanza. She's really good. So you want to, you know, if you're doing gem summons, you want to try to summon for her if you don't have her. Same thing with the other one here. And then you got your heroic summons, which is gem summons. And every 120 summons, you actually get an LD summon. That is really cool. And you get all of these prizes along the way. And this is every single time. This never goes away. Every time you hit 120, it resets. So that is a really cool feature. And then you got your light and your spirit summons, which is just like your void summons in CCG, or your summoning stones just like Summoning War. The big and cool difference in this game is you can actually get an LD in this one. It's not just limited to, regular element monsters, and Isit is actually a really good LD monster. So that's a cool feature. Then you got your LDs, and the same thing. They have a failsafe here. I believe once you summon 10 LD summons, you get an automatic LD Nat 5. So it's not like you'll play this game for 2 years, do 200 plus summons, and never get your Nat 5. In this game, you will eventually get your Nat 5 if you grind hard enough, and that's an awesome feature. And then you got your legendary summon, which is the same thing. Once you summon a certain amount, if you don't get your Nat 5, you will eventually get it. And I love that kind of system because, as you guys know, we went like 38 summons once in CCG in legendary summons without getting a Nat 5, and it was absolutely heartbreaking. And then you got your advanced summons, which is 3 to 5 stars. Then you got your normal summons, which is like unknowns, and you have your 1 to 3 star summons. And then you got your pieces down here, which you collect your summoning pieces, your skill fairies, and then just your regular monsters. And in this game, there's like so many ways to collect pieces and dungeons, and it's just so convenient. So always check down here. And now the craft part, which I wanted to get into. Now, if a monster is craftable, when you look at it in the home screen, it'll have a red banner with 3 red stars, and that means it's a craftable monster. So you definitely want to keep a copy of each in your storage and make sure you don't feed it away just in case you want to craft something. Now, we decided yesterday that Hildegard would probably be your best option for your first craftable monster. Now, Mary's not bad neither. I don't think you need Astaroth because she's a damage dealer and you're probably going to have a really good damage dealer. I know she has some healing, but when you compare it to these two, they're just a lot more useful and I feel a lot better than Astaroth. So I would definitely go with Mary or Hildegard because I feel like they're just way better options, and I'm definitely going to be going with her first. So just make sure you take notice of the monsters you need for this craft and put them in your storage. And when you're ready to do the craft and you're farming the Awakening dungeon, you can jump right into it and get her crafted. So just make sure you're checking this out and seeing what you need. See, like me, I already pulled one of the 4 stars. So I'm going to throw him in my storage. And I believe I have this one too, and it's thrown in my storage. So I think I only need one more. So once I get her, I can start this craft, which I will start it right away. And I will let you guys know how good she actually is. Okay, so I think we covered everything as far as the homepage and the monster box and the runes go. Let me actually quickly show you the rune menu here. Now, this is the rune menu. You can pull your hero up here. It shows you all your runes. You have options to, there's just so many options, guys. It's such a good rune management system in this game. I'm not going to go over everything. You can play with this and check it out, but you can click Swift runes, your vampire runes. You can click legendary or heroic. You can click, slot 2, slot 3, percentage, flat, whatever it is. And just keep in mind, guys, also, flat main stats in this game actually aren't a terrible thing because the base stats are so low that in some cases, a flat stat might actually be better. So don't auto sell your flat stats in this game, guys, because in some cases, and what we're seeing people post on Discord, a mixture between the both flat stats and percentages actually gives you higher stats overall. So just keep that in mind and play around with it and see what works better for you. Now, your slot 2 is going to give you crit damage, crit rate, HP, defense, and then flat stats. Slot 4 is where your speed is, and then I believe HP, defense. You can't get crit rate, you can't get crit damage. You can get attack percentage, and slot 6 is the same thing, except you can get resistance and accuracy. So your slot 2, 4, and 6 is still your, your main percentage or speed slots. And awesome rune management in this game is now you can click the hero and you can pretty much just exchange runes here, and you can click whatever monster you want to switch the runes from. And now rune removal is not free in this game, but still it's not that expensive, and this is still a really great feature because you can just click whatever monster you want to put your Freya's runes on, just click it, click exchange, and those runes will swap from monster to monster, and it's such a great feature. I didn't realize how much I actually missed it. So now I believe we just have one thing left to cover, So let's get into what you should be farming for your first week of Kingdom of Heroes. Now, I know there's a lot to take in this video, guys. I'm just trying to cover as much as I can in this one video. Trust me, we're going to keep going over this stuff. I'm just trying to squeeze as much as I can so you guys get as much knowledge as possible. I'm trying to share everything I've learned with you in the past 3 days in one, 25 to 35 minute video. So now, as you can see, my main focus has been campaign. All of my runes, all of my summons, everything that I pretty much got has came from this campaign. As you unlock the campaign, it gives you summons, it gives you runes, it gives you rewards, it unlocks your rift, it unlocks your rune dungeon. And rune dungeon is just like Colossus, where you're going to be farming your good rune sets. And so far in this game, I'm liking it because the drop rates seem a lot higher than in other games, but we're going to have to really test it out. As you can see, I didn't really get too much into this because my main focus has been on campaign, which yours should be too. You should try to 3-star this whole campaign before really moving on to anything else. Now, you got your arena up here. If you're in a guild, you do want to make sure you're doing your arena because this does help your guild, I believe, as far as like points and contribution goes. So you do want to set a defense and make sure you're doing this. And there's also totems. Just like any other game, you got your upgrade tower here. So it's pretty much the same kind of thing. You upgrade your speed, your defense, your ally attack, crit damage. I'm sure in the future they're going to be adding more to this stuff. Got to remember, this game has only been out on global for 3 days, so there is lots of stuff to come as far as that goes. You got your defense, you got your ranking, and you got your honor store. Just like any other game, make sure you're buying your skill fairies. You got a big one and you got a small one. Make sure you're buying both of them every single week. That's the most important thing, except for your totems. Now, that's pretty much all you need to do for arena. You don't need to go crazy with arena, guys. You just need to do it a little bit and, get a start. Slowly, upgrade your totem and get your skill fairies. Don't need to go crazy with it, especially early game. It's not important. Now, your TOA over here, Tower of Arrogance, you want to make sure you're doing this as much as possible. Now, you do get another free LD-Nat 5 and you get an LD-Nat 4 for your first time of completing this. Now, I wouldn't go too crazy with this until you have some good teams set up because this gets really hard. I was talking to Tick, Pickens, and Vega, and the higher you get, even on normal, this gets super hard and you are going to have to manual some of these stages. So just do what you can like I did. I think I got up to like 20 something, and then it started to get a little hard. So I just kind of, went back to campaign, farm some more, and then I'll come back to it later. But don't worry about doing this so much in the beginning. Just get as many rewards as you can. Take a step back, keep farming up your teams, and then go back to this TOA tower. And what's also cool is they actually show you where your friends are. There is scoreboards, there is record sheets. This game keeps track of everything, so you can actually see what your friends are doing. You can see when they complete something. You can see how fast they're running their dungeons. I love that feature in this game because it actually keeps you so engaged with your friends. And now we got the Awakening Valley, which is where you're going to get your, your elemental incenses from, which is where you awaken your monsters. Now, I was farming the green one. It took me like 3 hours to get enough to awaken my Reina, which was crazy, but I'm sure the higher you get, the better drops you'll get. We'll have to do more testing on that, but this is where you do that. I wouldn't do this too much in the beginning. Just get your core team done and stay away from this, until you absolutely have to do this. Now you got your rifts over here. Now you have a silver dungeon and you have a XP dungeon, and you'll be unlocking other dungeons over here, which is monster dungeons. Your guild can unlock, silver dungeons. So you want to check this every couple hours and see what's here, see if you need anything. And silver currency, like I always tell you guys, really hard to get. So if you see a silver dungeon, make sure you jump on it and farm as much as you can to really up your silver. And that'll make, upgrading stuff and moving on to the game a lot easier for you. So I think we covered everything here. So just like you see here, I'm pretty much just going through my campaign, 3-starring everything. Now I'm working on 4 here. So I did 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to go on 4, and I'm going to sit here until I 3-star every single one of these. And as I do it, I'm upgrading my Freet, which is my damage dealer. Now she's a 6-star. Now I'm going to upgrade my healer next, and then my shielder, and so forth and so forth. And as you grind this campaign and unlock the campaign, you'll be upgrading your food. So you want to make, 3 stars into 4 stars, and then into 5 stars, so you can 6-star your core team. Just like any other game, You guys know the grind is real in any gacha game that you play. It doesn't matter which one. The grind is always going to be real, and that's how I want to end this video, guys, with the grind is real, guys. So just keep that in mind. The more you grind, the more progression you're going to get, and the more successful you're going to be. It's not about how much money you spend. It's about how much you grind and how much time you put into the game. So just bear that in mind. You know, when your progression seems a little slow and you don't feel like you're growing fast, it's just because you have to keep grinding. And I promise you, the more you do that, the more you grind, the more progression you're going to see, and you're absolutely going to love this game. So that is definitely going to wrap it up for this one, guys. I think I covered everything when starting this game. So as always, guys, thank you so much for being here. If you want to follow me on Discord and Twitch, that is in the description as always. We have the random giveaway going on, so just make sure you're sub to the channel, you're liking and commenting on all the videos to be a part of that. We're so close to our 1,000 sub giveaway. That is going to be a huge giveaway. I'm super excited about that as well, but I'll let you know when we get to that. As always, I love you guys. I will see you in the next one. Spaceballs out. Peace, guys.